Hey y'all, hey, it's JJ Conway. Welcome to Building Wealth Together, where our goal is to help you walk in abundance and leave a legacy. It's Juice with JJ. This is where I keep you informed about scams, financial controversies, and money shenanigans so you can keep your cash flow out of their pockets and funding your dreams. Let's get into it.
Hey y'all, hey, it's JJ Conway. I'm broadcasting to you live from my hotel room in San Antonio, Texas. It's been an amazing weekend. My husband has the Texas Music Educators Association. I think that's what TMEA stands for. He's got his TMEA conference down in San Antonio. I spoke at the New Orleans Pelicans Veterans Career Fair this past Thursday because both of us had work conferences and all of our friends at the school are also educators. Most of them were here at the conference. We decided to pull the kids out of school. I took them with me to New Orleans. We had a fabulous time. I will admit that little man did not have a fabulous time working my booth while I worked the floor. However, I got so many compliments on how well he did and what a wonderful young man. And he got me so many sign-ups for my new course. I've got a new course out for veterans called How to Find Work You Love. How to Work From Home Doing What You Love. I think that's what it's called. It's my own course. But I have a new course now. How to find work you, what is that class called? I'm sorry, y'all. It's how to work from home doing what you love. And the focus of the class is veterans. So we talk about being a angry transition veteran. We talk about some really deep stuff. And I found at the Veterans Conference that the people who came up to me to appreciate my comments were the ones who appreciated the realness and the rawness with which I discussed the anger after my transition, the feeling lost after transitioning from being active duty and having that structure of the active duty world to now the civilian world where it's much less structured, much less disciplined, much less camaraderie, much less brotherhood, sisterhood, all of those good things. And people warned me about that before I retired, but I just didn't understand until I went through it myself. And so I encouraged everybody in there that those feelings were normal and that it was important to find some assistance, to find some camaraderie in other veterans who have made the leap to successful transition to civilian life. So the course is still available. I'm going to leave it free for about a week for the people who are in the conference to get in there, but then we're going to change the price. So if that's something you're interested in, go out to my website. It's probably down at the very bottom because I'm not trying to advertise a $500 class for free. So you're going to have to search for it. But when we put the price tag on it, we'll probably move it up. But seriously though, y'all, I don't even know if I will because it's for veterans really. It's for anybody, but it's really geared more towards veterans. So that's the How to Work From Home Doing What You Love class. What I wanted to talk to you about today is what happened after the Veterans Career Fair. I mean, immediately after the Veterans Career Fair, we got really nice tickets. That was part of our package for being one of the speakers there. After that, I took the boys to the game. Me and the little one actually got featured on AP Sports News. No, we're not really featured on AP Sports News, but we're in the picture of the guy who was making an amazing shot that was captured by AP Sports News. And so I'm like, man, the Cubby is getting on all kinds of places. He's just becoming famous all over the world because, he spoke to the National Speakers Association Influence Conference folks through my virtual presentation at 5 years old. He's just being here and there and everywhere. And it just makes me chuckle. So immediately after the game, the boys got to experience the benefits of mom's business, right? And then we traveled to San Antonio. Well, I tell you what, y'all, everything that could go wrong in our trip back went wrong. I mean, we had a beautiful, lazy morning in the hotel in New Orleans. We got on the road, and then it was accident after accident, after cop, after cop, after construction, after construction. And it was what was supposed to be about an 8.5-hour drive, ended up being about an 11-hour drive. So I'm calling my husband. He's got reservations for us to go on date night to Fogo de Chao. If you're married and you've got kids, I really do encourage you to do that whole date night thing. I find that it really helps to stay connected with your spouse instead of getting all wrapped up in the day-to-day of being parents and professionals, right? And so he pushed back our reservations, and I'm like, hey, you might need to get something for the kids, because the original plan was I was going to feed them on my way, but now we're getting on about almost 12 hours of driving, and I'm like, okay, my hip is tired, and I'm having this conversation, and we're trying to figure out what to have. And while we're having the conversation, and while he's going through all the places in the mall that are across the street from this hotel that we're in San Antonio, while he's going through that, somebody slips a flyer, and it's a nice flyer too. I have it right here in front of me. It's a beautiful glossy 8.5 by 11 printed on both sides in full color pizzeria flyer. They folded it in half to make a nice little half-size booklet. I mean, it's well done. They spent some money on this advertising. Somebody slides this under the door while we're talking, and we think, problem solved. Fast, friendly delivery and carry out. All right, you know what? They delivered it under the door of the hotel. We gonna make this work. Except that when he went to order, it didn't work because they don't deliver to this hotel. Now, let me tell you something about delivery. So I used to hand out flyers, and I still recommend, I really do still recommend that businesses hand out flyers, because one of the things that I found is that it's a very, very effective way. If you are if you're near an apartment complex that doesn't have no solicitation, or if you're in any place where you can walk around and put flyers on your door, it is on the doors of people who live there. It is one of the most effective ways to get the word out about your new business, something happening at your church, community event that you're hosting. I mean, I have never done a neighborhood walking where I've put out maybe 100 flyers at a time. I've never done 100 flyers that didn't result in some business, didn't result in enough to make it worth my while, right? But what a lot of business owners do is they give these flyers to people, and they pay them, college interns or whatever, people who are not really getting paid a whole lot of money. They pay them to go out and set out these flyers. And in this case, this particular flyer is a very nicely full-colored printed glossy flyer. This isn't even just a one color on a piece of cheap paper, right? This is a nice flyer. They got to the Conference Center Hotel. This is the Grand Hyatt attached to the San Antonio Conference Center. Muckety-muck hotel, right? They put the flyers under the door. But to get to our floor, you need a room key. So somebody who was passing out these flyers had to take the time to wait for somebody to going up the elevator, follow the crowd up the elevator, go around the floor, get down to each of the floors, hopefully with somebody with the key, right? Somebody paid somebody to do the effort, whether the owner did or whether they paid somebody. But they have flushed their money down the toilet, because when my husband called to order, they said, oh, we don't deliver here. I realize I'm at 8 minutes into this, what's supposed to be a 7-minute podcast, and I didn't even get to the main point yet. But y'all, I want to highlight what this business did is they threw their money away. And there's a lot of times in our businesses where we throw our money away. Does this process of sliding pizzeria flyers underneath the doors of people in hotel rooms work? Absolutely it works. That flyer slid on into our room right at the time we were discussing what he could do. And my husband had had a long 3 days of conference, and really he wasn't trying to walk anywhere. He doesn't have a car. Most people who are here at this conference center don't have a car, and they're not going to Uber across town for your pizza. I don't care how good it is. And so whether the owner did it or whether they paid somebody to do it, and paying somebody to do flyers, y'all, can be really, really, it can be really dicey, because you got to prove that they actually delivered your flyers, didn't just deliver one or two, take a picture of it to show you that they delivered it, and then throw the rest of them in the trash and just take your money. Like, that's a pretty common thing, right? So it can be dicey, but when it's done right, it works. But these people, they took whatever time they took with these beautiful full-colored glossy printed flyers and put them in this hotel, which is harder to put in than other hotels. And the company doesn't even deliver here. And I'm giving you this as an example because I want you to do like it caused me to do, is to like really evaluate the business and say, okay, is there something in my life where I am spending good money and throwing it down the drain? Have I produced beautiful flyers? And have I hired an army of people to go hand them out to all the local hotels? And have I spent that money only to find that I get zero business because none of those people who are in those hotels are going to drive across town? They're expecting delivery. My flyer says delivery, and I don't deliver. I want you to evaluate that, because most of us, if we'll be honest with ourselves, there are areas of our business where we are leaving money on the table every day. I know for me, one of the areas that I'm leaving money on the table is, in fact, in my ability to deliver. I've tended to last year. I got so excited about all the speaking engagements and being able to travel again. And then I'm in the doctoral program. And I'll admit it. I will admit it to all my listeners. I already admitted it to those who watch me on Facebook that I took on too much and I didn't deliver. That's why we took a pause on the courses. And we're starting the self-image course a little later in the year than we normally did, because I wanted to get caught up and make sure I gave y'all everything that you either paid for or signed up for. All right, well, that's going to be my pizza flyer rant for today. I really do. I feel bad for this business, because I'm sure the owner of the business did not say, go give this to a bunch of hotels we don't deliver to. Now, they may not have thought it through. You know, they may have said, oh yeah, there's a big convention in town, go give them our flyers. And they may not have thought that through because it looks so attractive. You ever done that in your business? You find this opportunity and it just looks so attractive and you think it's going to be so amazing, but you didn't think through whether or not it's appropriate for the audience that you're working with. And you didn't think whether or not it's going to give you a good return on investment. And you know, maybe somebody, maybe one out of the 1,000, what do they say? There's like 31,000 people here for this event. Maybe 10 of the 31,000 people who are here might go by and get to that person's thing. Like they might just be driving along and they're like, man, that barbecue chicken looks good. That's actually what we wanted to order. I'm so disappointed, y'all. And I know I don't eat pizza much, but it had been a long drive, y'all. I was looking forward to sinking my teeth into some barbecue chicken pizza because I knew Mr. Man wanted to go to Fogo de Chao. And it's just not my favorite place, especially after last night, but that'll be a rant for another day. So I just want you to think about that thing, because you know, we can throw so much money. If you're a speaker today and you buy into this amazing speaking opportunity to share the stage with this world-class leader, I have amazing speaker opportunities. You will share the stage with world-class leaders when you participate in one of my conferences. But I don't want people to participate in one of my conferences if it's not going to help them build their business. Now, I believe that all my conferences will, but you have to look at your audience, and you have to make sure that your audience is going to give you a good return on your investment. It's not just, now sometimes you get a good return on your investment just because you speak in the conference and you get the pictures showing that you spoke at the conference. And there are a lot of conferences, y'all. If I pay to play in a conference, 9 times out of 10, it's because I want the graphics for the conference. Otherwise, I'm probably not paying to play. I want to speak. I want to be on virtual stage or physical stage with the headliners, and I want proof in the form of graphics, flyers, promotional materials, and all that kind of stuff, right? Like I want the headliner sending something out with my picture on it, right? So you have to determine return on investment. And what these people did is they did not evaluate their return on investment, and I feel bad for them because they just threw a lot of money down the drain. All right, don't throw money down the drain in your business. Evaluate what you're doing. Evaluate if you're speaking at events, if you're participating, if you're an author today and you're participating in book anthologies, or you're paying somebody to help you write their book, evaluate the return on investment, and don't you throw good money after bad. If something's not working, if it hasn't been working, ain't never been working, don't keep throwing more money at it thinking, well, if I just add a little more, if I just do a little more. If you're going to spend your time, your energy, your money, you're going to take time away from your family to do this thing. You're going to take money away from your family to do this thing. You're going to take money away from your business to do this thing. Make sure it's worth your while. I'm JJ Conway. That's all I've got for y'all today. It's so nice to be back with you on the podcast. Y'all take care and be blessed.
Love the podcast? Be sure to like, subscribe, and forward to 3 friends. You can ask a question or take a life-changing class at buildingwealthtogether.com. Now, go walk in abundance and leave a legacy.